for these vocabulary words while I read the lesson. Land bridge, glacier. Think about this question while you watch the video.
What led to the development of farming as a source of food?
They kept walking, following the caribou and other big game, but there was little to eat here. There were no trees to shield them from the bitter cold or the wind, and the icy landscape provided few plants to gather for food. Still, the people needed to be strong in order to survive this journey. Years later, as they arrived in the new land farther south, they would see mammoths and even saber-toothed tigers.
The Mesolithic Era. We call the period following the Paleolithic Era the Mesolithic Era. After this came the Neolithic Era, or New Stone Age, when farming started. The Mesolithic Era was a transition between the hunting and gathering of the Paleolithic Era and the farming of the Neolithic Era. The Mesolithic Era is also called the Middle Stone Age. It is believed to have taken place from 10,000 BC to 8,500 BC. Most early humans continued to hunt animals and collect plants for food during this time, but some people began to store food to eat later. Some people began to settle in villages along rivers and lakes where they could fish. They also used bows and arrows and early stone tools in order to catch and prepare food. Evidence also suggests that people of this time made beautiful pottery. During the Mesolithic era, some people began to tame different kinds of animals, starting with dogs. Cave paintings drawn more than 5,000 years ago show the teamwork between a hunter and his dogs. Land bridges.
In Lesson 2, you learned that scientists believe early humans in Africa migrated to Europe and Asia starting about 1.5 million years ago. How did they get there? With vast oceans to cross and no large ships, how would they have arrived in the Americas? Scientists have a theory about how early humans traveled. Because so much of Earth was frozen during the Ice Age, the sea level dropped. Many areas that had been underwater became dry land where people could walk. One such area was a land mass we call Beringia. It linked present-day Alaska with Northeast Asia. Beringia is often called a land bridge.
Land bridge is land that connects two large land masses.
There was also a land bridge from Asia to Australia and a wide land bridge between North and South America. These land bridges are gone now because sea levels have risen and the continents have shifted.
New ways of living. Why did people shift from hunting and gathering to farming? Why did they start to settle in villages? Some scientists think these new lifestyles developed because the climate changed. As the glaciers, or ice sheets, retreated, the huge animals of the Ice Age died out. No one knows if these giant animals died out because they were overhunted, because of the change in climate, or both. No longer could an entire family hunt a woolly mammoth or woolly rhino and live off its meat for a season. As a result, people had to find new food sources and ways of gathering them. People began farming. As the climate became warmer, the number of plants and small animals increased. Hunter-gatherers began eating more wild grains and small animals. As more food became available in a region, more people settled there. With so many people hunting and gathering grains, food became scarce again. Over several years, rather than relying on hunting and gathering, people began to grow their own crops and raise their own animals for food. Early people grew wheat, barley, millet, and other grains using their knowledge of the seasons and rainfall. In most Neolithic cultures, women grew the crops. By 1500 BC, some Neolithic cultures in Mexico and South America also grew corn, beans, and squash. Meanwhile, men usually raised the animals: cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs. They used the animals for milk and hides, as well as for their meat. People continued to hunt, but with a food supply available, hunting was not as important. People ate well and lived longer. As a result, the population grew, and with work and organization, villages became cities. The first Americans. Scientists have different theories about how people came to the Americas. Many believe that humans migrated across the Beringia land bridge. Then, they walked along an ice-free stretch of land between present-day Alaska and Montana in the northern United States. Fossils such as an arrowhead in the style used by the earliest Americans between 15,000 and 30,000 years ago indicate this fact. New evidence now suggests that people may also have traveled in boats from southern Asia or sailed from Europe along the ice that covered the northern Atlantic. Fossils show that an early people with European-style tools once lived in North America. They are called the Clovis, after the place in New Mexico where artifacts were found to be more than 11,000 years old. Still, other scientists believe people spread through the Americas much earlier, traveling along the coasts. There were probably several migrations to the Americas. Animal bones, paintings, charred seeds, and tools found in a cave near Monte Alegre, Brazil, in South America, show that people lived there at least 11,200 years ago, around the same time as the Clovis people are believed to have lived. Here's what you learned today. First, the Mesolithic Era was the transition between the Paleolithic Era, or the Old Stone Age, and the Neolithic Era, or the New Stone Age. Most scientists believe that early humans traveled from Europe and Asia to the Americas. Next, new lifestyles developed because of changing climate conditions. And finally, early humans became farmers and settled in villages.